homers, but while Rubio and Walker would need a win or at least a good showing in Iowa to propel themselves into the final fight with establishmentarian Jeb Bush, Iowa means everything to the candidates who would need a win there to fuel their candidacies. Former Governor Mike Huckabee, R-Ark, might be considered the favorite in a state where he won a stunning victory in 2008, but former Senator Rick Santorum, R-Pa, and former Governor Rick Perry, R. Texas, also have favorability in the state. Newbies like Senator Rand Paul, RKY, have put a lot of time in the Iowa, however, and might catch fire among libertarian-leaning Republicans, while unknowns like Carly Fiorina, who spent the past 5 days in Iowa, might take with voters there too. Not on the schedule is Ben Carson, who is expected to launch his candidacy next week in Detroit. Cruz heads to Tulsa, Oklahoma today for a rally with former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin and Utah Senator Mike Lee. Coming in hot, the Iowa X Factor is Senator Ted Cruz, R. Texas, who is an evangelical heartthrob and making a direct appeal for libertarian-leaning GOPers as well. He arrives packing a bit of baggage. The controversy has brewed up around Cruz's visit to the home of a gay New York billionaire. On Monday, Cruz spoke at a reception hosted by hotel moguls Ian Reisner and Mady Wider Pass. Cruz reportedly spoke with the two about support for Israel, an issue on which they all agree. Cruz attacked the NYT for suggesting he was, as a staunch opponent of same-sex marriage, being hypocritical. And as if to show his seriousness on the subject, Cruz has reportedly now filed a Senate bill to forbid same-sex marriage through a constitutional amendment. There was also a kerfuffle over the fact that Cruz was the only senator to miss the vote on the confirmation of Loretta Lynch as Attorney General. Watch Fox. Senior national correspondent John Roberts reports on the events from the Faith and Freedom Coalition live from Iowa. Ferocious Obamacare fight looming for 16 hours. TPM. The Senate's top 5 Republican leaders have co-sponsored legislation to extend until 2017 the Obamacare insurance subsidies that may be struck down by the Supreme Court this summer. The legislation, offered by Senator Ron Johnson RWI, one of the most politically vulnerable Senate incumbents in 2016, would maintain the federal healthcare.gov tax credits at stake in King v. Burwell through the end of August 2017. The bill was unveiled this week with 29 other co-sponsors, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell RKY and his 4 top deputies, Senator John Cornyn RDX, John Thune RSD, John Barrasso RWay and Roy Blunt RMO. Another co-sponsor is Senator Roger Wicker RMS, the chairman of the conference's electoral arm. Kasich sets collision course with Jeb. Ohio Governor John Kasich is leaning into his expected presidential campaign this weekend. He's in Washington for several speeches and is also expected to huddle with some of his former Hill colleagues as well a morning show doubleheader on Sunday. And as he does, he sets himself on a collision course with establishment pick Jeb Bush. While Bush is busy hoovering up cash around the country, Kasich is looking to win the war of ideas. He's selling an updated version of Bush's brother's compassionate conservatism, which means Kasich's path doesn't run through winning the conservative melee and being Bush's eventual foe. Instead, Kasich would have to try to disrupt Bush's hold on the establishment. That's a tall order, but if Bush continues to see hardening resistance in the party for his candidacy, establishment voters and donors might be open to an alternative. So you're saying you're not a fan? Philip Klein lacerates Kasich. Ohio Governor John Kasich has made clear that he's seriously considering running for the 2016 Republican presidential nomination. If he formally announces, it will be important for conservative voters to punish him for his expansion of President Obama's healthcare law in his state. Legit. Tampa Bay Times. The Bush campaign is reportedly planning to reverse a role of Bush's campaign committee and the independent Super PAC supporting him, so that the Super PAC would essentially become Bush's campaign committee. The reason for this audacious move is simple. Super PACs can be funded with unlimited donations, while a candidate's campaign is limited to contributions of $2,700 per donor per election. The only problem is that the Bush scheme, as reported, would be illegal. Bush's Super PAC hosts a donor conference in Miami, Florida this weekend. The invitation breaks invitees into 4 tiers, the highest being $500,000. Jeb Romney didn't signal he cared about people. Free Beacon. Jeb Bush said he would not make the same mistakes as Mitt Romney during a private event in New York on Thursday, saying the 2012 Republican nominee was unable to connect with voters in a genuine way. Romney made it about the referendum on the president's policies rather than about himself. "He didn't show his heart," said the former governor of Florida. "He didn't send a signal that he cared about people, when he did." WAPO, presumed Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush says he disagrees with critical comments about Israel made Monday by former Secretary of State James Baker. Mazel tov, y'all. Former President George W. Bush will be standing in for his brother as GOPers pay their respects to gambling billionaire and GOP donor Whale Sheldon Adelson at his Las Vegas gathering for Jewish Republicans. Ted Cruz and Rick Perry will also be there seeking Adelson's support. A fabulous Fred Barnes led Weekly Standard. In 1974, Nobel Prize-winning economist Friedrich Hayek criticized those who believed they could measure the real-world impact of economic theories with scientific precision. They were wrong, Hayek said in his Nobel lecture, entitled The Pretense of Knowledge. They didn't have enough solid information. What they lacked couldn't be reduced to a number. It wasn't quantifiable. Yet economists continue to proceed on the fiction that the factors which they can measure are the only ones that are relevant. It might seem a stretch, but Hayek's insight applies to politics, and notably to the 2016 presidential campaign. Charles Koch makes his case. USA Today. Charles Koch and his industrial empire are mounting an aggressive new defense of his company and his political advocacy, with the billionaire insisting his work to help elect Republicans is rooted in his decades-long quest to increase well-being in society. "We are doing all of this to make more money," Koch said of charges that his drive to limit government's power will increase his bottom line. "I mean, that is so ludicrous. I don't know how they can say that with a straight face," he said. His comments came during an interview with USA Today in his office at Koch Industries, where he discussed a wide range of topics, from the nearly daily death threats against him, to what he termed the hysteria in some quarters about global warming. "Sometimes, you just have to write IT out of wardrobe malfunction at a horse race," left spectators with an eyeful of one of the participants, and no, not the horse. The Mirror tells us of Australian jockey Blade Shine who had the elastic in his pants snap halfway through a race. Determined to stay the course, he continued racing with his rear end in the air for all to see. Despite his determination, however, he did not win. Blade took it all in stride. At least it wasn't during a Super Bowl halftime show. And now, the word from Charles. "But what strikes me about all this is the unbelievable arrogance of the Clintons, who do this in the full expectation that they're going to get away with it. They burnt the tapes, they eliminate the emails." Charles Krauthammer on Special Report with Bret Baier. Watch here. Chris Sturwalt is digital politics editor for Fox News. Want Fox News first in your inbox every day? Sign up here. Chris Sturwalt joined Fox News Channel FNC in July of 2010 and serves as digital politics editor based in Washington, D.C. Additionally, he authors the daily Fox News First political news note and hosts Power Play, a feature video series, on foxnews.com. Sturwalt makes frequent appearances on the network, including The Kelly File, Special Report with Bret Baier, and Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace. He also provides expert political analysis for Fox News coverage of state, congressional and presidential elections.